the Coca-Cola Football League podcast with Mark Clemmit.
If there's a better tale of achievement against the odds this season than Bournemouth's fight to be promoted from League Two, then I'll eat my own underpants, and believe me, that's a very big meal, because it helps when you've got a 22-goal striker like Brett Pitman banging them in. Do you, Brett, feel the pressure when a team is reliant on you like that for the goals? Does it get to you sometimes if you haven't scored for a few games?
No, I don't think so. I think we've had a few people chip in with a few goals. Obviously, people would probably want to score more, but I've managed to score 22 this season, and I've always said it's my job to score goals, so that's what I'm in the team to do, and luckily I've been able to do that this season.
Yeah, I mean, so you take to it like a duck to water, really. You just don't feel it at all.
No, not really. I've always been the top goal scorer in most of my teams, coming up from a young lad. So, yeah, it's been nice, and I quite like it, to be honest.
But how much do you put down to the old man Steve Fletcher playing with you? How much has he helped you?
Yeah, he helps massively. I mean, he talks to me all the time, and he's a physical presence, which maybe takes a bit of the pressure off me up front. And yeah, he causes problems for defence, maybe without scoring as many goals as he might do. But yeah, he's great to play up front with.
How have the boys responded to the naming of a stand after him? And I haven't been down since. Has it got his photo of him on? Did I see in the paper?
Yeah,
you got to look up and see his big head on the stand every time you run it up and down.
You don't even have to look up to it. To be honest, it's quite intimidating, and it's. I think the lads have hammered him for it, and I think he'll continue to get hammered for it. He says he's a little bit embarrassed, but I think he loves it. Yeah,
I think he probably does. I always see him preening and stuff on match day. He always looks the smartest in his suit and things. So tell me something. You grew up on Jersey, so what was that like as a football education? I mean, obviously it's a Crown Principality, I think, isn't it? It's linked to GB, but is there a good football structure there in terms of helping you to come through?
Yeah, the youth setups over there are good. It's just hard to get hard. Obviously, there's not many scouts over there, so it's hard. You have to write away for trials, etc. Or when you go to the UK and play in tournaments, you have to get scouted there, really. So yeah, it was difficult, but I managed to do it, and there is a lot of good young players over there.
Yeah. And what about your football heroes? I mean, who would you base your game on? You know, who did you used to look at and follow as a kid?
When I was growing up, I think Beckham was my favourite. I think I used to like watching him. I support Man United, so he was one that I liked. In my position, I liked Van Nistelrooy. He was unbelievable at what he did, I think. So, yeah, probably them two.
Yeah, you're making Leroy and I feel very old when you're mentioning players that felt as though they were playing. Well, they're both still playing, obviously. So, listen, winding up petition's been seen off, transfer embargo lifted. What kind of effect did all that off-the-field stuff have on the players, Brett? Did it get to you at all? I mean, it was very visible in terms of lack of numbers on the bench, but, you know, did it affect you much on a day-to-day basis? Was there no bog roll? Were you struggling for a pair of socks?
No, we've been all right. We've had to deal with it. We obviously dealt with minus 17 last season and managed to stay up, which was a great achievement in itself. And this season it's been difficult at times. We've had two people on the bench, the assistant manager, a schoolboy, and it's been difficult. But we've had a good core of players that have played almost every game, I think. So it's helped for continuity, and yeah, we're pleased at how it's going so far.
Did you fear when you had a little bit of a wobble at the turn of the year, did you fear that circumstances might be catching up with you, or did you all always remain pretty confident?
I think we all remained confident. I mean, obviously, if you lose a couple of games in a row, it is a little bit of a worry, but I don't think we've ever lost 3 in a row, so we've managed to bounce back after a defeat normally, which is massive for us.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, are you happy to let Rochdale and Notts County slug it out for the title as long as you're promoted, or have you still got aspirations on top place? You have a bit to go, obviously, to make up ground.
Yeah, I think every player wants to win the league, but I think if you said to every player in our squad, would you take third now, I don't think there'd be many saying no, to be honest.
Well, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Keep up the good work, won't you?
Thank you.
All the best.
Good luck, Brett.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers. That's Bournemouth's
Cheers.
Brett Pitman. I suspect when they're doling out the Manager of the Year gongs, Eddie Howe will not be far away. He won't get anything because it's only little old Bournemouth and people won't take as much notice as they should. But pound for pound, resources to achievement, keeping going, fantastic job.
Well, his streets ahead, pound for pound, and as Brett said there, don't forget that they had a minus 17-point deduction last year and managed to survive, and people totally wrote them off this year. And if they'd finished mid-table, he'd still be up for that Manager of the Year award. They're in third place, and at times, they couldn't even get his brother-in-law to play. They wouldn't allow him to sign anybody. Only had 7 players on the bench for the 5th time this season yesterday, and he's come up against all sorts of things which any manager of any experience would find difficult, but he's handled it with a lot of class. He's handled it with a lot of style, and they deserve to be where they are.